Have you guys ever wondered if Old Testament rules can apply to today and even help you live a better, healthier life? Let's talk about it. Today we're going to talk about an Old Testament law concerning mixed fabrics. Deuteronomy 22:11. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts as of woolen and linen together. Basically, this law is saying don't wear mixed fabrics. Now, why in the world would God make such a rule? I've never really seen any pastor quite explain such bizarre laws such as this. Why were they not allowed to wear mixed fabrics? Why was that a law? Well, this Old Testament law actually has to do with science that can apply to today. This is a doctor known as Heidi Yellen. She's a researcher who studied frequencies in fabrics. A doctor named Heidi Yellen did a study on fabrics, and this was the conclusion. The human body has a signature frequency of 100, and organic cotton is 100. Therefore, you don't want to wear a garment under 100 that is lower than the frequency of the human body. A sickly, nearly dead person has a frequency of 15, and materials such as polyester, rayon, silk, and spandex register at 15. Science proves that any fabric worn that has a frequency less than 100, our bodies puts a strain on us, which causes disease, inflammation, and other sicknesses.
Everybody's always talking about vibes and energy, but how does energy actually work? Let's get into it. Humans are just like radios. We emit an electromagnetic frequency that can't be seen, but can be read by technology. As you can see here, everything is energy and everything is a frequency. If you look here, even light is a frequency, which is a small fraction of what we actually can perceive compared to what's around us 24/7. Okay, look at it like this. Two pieces of technology can be separate but connected through Bluetooth. They're connected through energy. Well, human energy is the same but different. We can read electromagnetic fields from other people, but we perceive them as feelings. This is what empaths and clairsentients are. They're just reading your electromagnetic field. Everyone is energy and everyone emits energy. Emotions and experiences are energy, which is why the energy you feel from something, especially from people, can tell you a lot about its source. That is why sometimes when you go by a radio, it fuzzes out because your electromagnetic frequency is interfering with the radio signals. So those vibes you feel when you go out places, that is legit you reading energy and electro frequencies around you. It's nothing made up, it's science.
The only super fabrics are wool and linen, both measuring in at 5,000, which energizes the body and helps fight disease. Linen is a super fabric. Like I said, its frequency is 5,000, wool is also 5,000, but when mixed together with linen, the frequencies cancel each other out and fall to zero. Even wearing a wool sweater on top of linen outfit in a study collapsed the electric field. The reason for this could be that the energy field of wool flows from left to right, while that of linen flows in the opposite direction from right to left. So yeah, when these two super fabrics are mixed together, they cancel each other out and the frequency goes to zero, from 5,000 to zero, which is incredibly unhealthy for your body. Can cause strain, inflammation, disease. Here's some facts about linen. Number 1, sleeping in linen helps people fall asleep faster and deeper. Number 2, it improves mood. Number 3, considered holy attire. Number 4, made up of flax. Number 6, rapid healing from surgeries and other ailments, which would explain why hospitals use linen for their beds. Number 7, resistant to fungus and bacteria. Number 8, barrier to some diseases. Number 9, regulates body temperature. It insulates in the cold and cool and breathable when it's warm. But all these benefits of fabrics such as linen disappear when you mix them. Its frequency goes to zero, which like I said can cause inflammation, strain on the body, etc. Another researcher, Dr. Philip Callahan, discovered that flax cloth, linen, acts as an antenna for the energy. He found that when the pure flax cloth was put over a wound or local pain, it greatly accelerated the healing process. What he was using to discover this is a oscilloscope. So yes, the type of fabric you wear and if you mix it can affect the body. So God knew what he was talking about. This wasn't just some random law to separate the Israelites. This was a law concerning health and well-being. And the science applies today to mixed fabrics. All right, thank you.
So I'm in Target and I'm walking by and I noticed these shirts. So I was like, hold on, this looks oddly familiar. What does this look like to you? Is it or is it not a Ouija board? This is a Ouija board. And this is what we talk about, like they make witchcraft so easily accessible to people, and someone in their ignorance will buy this and wear this without knowing. This is the issue we have. Child, y'all stay woke out here.
Why are more people not talking about this story? The following details are very gruesome. These three black guys beat and killed 17-year-old Ethan Liming out of LeBron James's I Promise school in Akron, Ohio. But why did they do it? So Ethan's friends, who are also black, shot a splat ball gun at these guys playing basketball on the court. They didn't like that, so Ethan stepped out of the car and tried to defuse the situation. And these three black guys ultimately ended up beating Ethan to death and leaving his friends unharmed and taking the car. The autopsy showed that Ethan had a broken neck and a shoe print on his chest wall. Then the affidavit showed that the suspects beat Ethan until he was unconscious and then beat him some more. Get this, instead of being indicted for murder, these three black guys were indicted for involuntary manslaughter and aggravated assault. But the question remains, what prompted them to do this? Why would they go after only Ethan and not his black friends as well? With the timeline of events, it seems to suggest some collectivist and tribalistic attitudes from these black guys, or dare I say, an anti-white mentality.
I love the fact that you guys are in masks. Alright, I'm gonna lose more of you. Fuck it, let's do that. Hey, you've taken it down, bruv. Keep them up. What are you doing? Do you care about COVID, or your missus told you needed a mask, innit? And you're just here, just like, she's fucking going on about the mask. Oh, what's your name, people? Your guy. Why have you taken the mask off? Sorry.
You won't be able to hear me properly.
I know. I wouldn't have sat at the front of the comedy show in the mask if we were... I'm not the one who's got faulted logic here, am I? Like, I'm not... Like, they're looking at me like I'm crazy. What the fuck have you guys got? COVID's over. Remember, we dealt with it when Ukraine happened. Russia happened, and we all went, well, that's what my Facebook profile pic's gonna be now. Care about this issue. Move over, dancing TikTok nurses. I want to see dancing Ukrainians.
Even without the 28, there was a ton of information. It was very damning about, at best, insane levels of incompetence by the CIA and the FBI. Like, for example, the CIA had witnessed two 9/11 hijackers go visit Khalid Sheikh Mohammed at an Al-Qaeda summit meeting in Malaysia for 3 days, and then they openly get visas and live in the U.S. using their real names, and they never informed the FBI until like August of 2001, when they were no longer on the West Coast. The NSA did not share its information with the CIA or the FBI when they had bugged the phones of the entire cell in Yemen while they were living there. Never shared the info. It's like anyone said they let it happen. Yeah, I mean, either that or they're so incompetent that it didn't matter. And both are bad conclusions. Either you're so horrible that you couldn't put it together, that they're going to attack the World Trade Center with airplanes when they're literally going to flight schools and hit the World Trade Center in the past in 1993, and you can't figure out that they're going to use an airplane. Bull. Condoleezza Rice said that too. She's like, we never imagined this scenario. I think, yes, you did. And we already know that they knew about the Bajinka plot, the Millennium plot, where Ramzi Youssef, who attacked the World Trade Center in 1993, had plotted to hijack planes for the Philippines and ram them into targets in the United States, including the World Trade Center. I mean, they definitely knew. And then you got that guy's uncle with a cell in Al-Qaeda, and they're going to flight schools, and you can't figure out they're going to use a plane, and you didn't tell the FBI. And they're living with Saudi agents who are giving them money and logistical support, who are also deeply tied to the Bush family. And you have these intermediaries, Osama Basnan, Omar Bayoumi, are two of the ones that are most well known now. And nothing was done. And all they can say is incompetence, incompetence, incompetence all the way down. I don't believe it. They definitely had to know.
He's involved in every aspect. Look, he's the guy who revolutionized sex for us and said you could do all these things with no downside. Well, okay, people, we have had some serious downsides. You know, we have a Pentagon now. You know how many guys were found using child pornography in the Pentagon. We have judges who've been picked up. We have presidents of universities. We have coaches, you know, in football coaches and so forth. And people are being told it was always like this. Well, I have news for you, people. It was not always like this.
When did you first get interested in this research that you're doing?
Well, actually, it always comes down to something like this. It was very personal. I was living in a sort of nostalgic little world, writing for Captain Kangaroo, singing songs, you know, doing television for CBS, ABC, NBC. And my daughter was sexually assaulted by a 13-year-old boy who lived upstairs, came from an intact family. And I began to look around and to say, wait a minute, how did this happen?
Freedom!
Freedom, 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 freedom.